Now to the pill causing serious side effects leading to deaths. Among the victims, Queenslander Lakota Connell, who was just 17 when a massive blood clot ended her life. Yet the drug company making it refuses to acknowledge there's a problem. Adine Cassidy reports.
It was incredibly traumatic. It was terribly frightening. I didn't know if I was going to survive.
Dr Karen Phelps was president of the Australian Medical Association when she was prescribed a drug she says nearly killed her.
The only warning sign I had was a couple of days before, when obviously the embolism had begun, when I had a cough and I was feeling breathless and incredibly tired.
The drug in question is Yaz or Yasmin. When it hit the market in 2008, it was proclaimed the miracle pill.
You can see that it's got 24 active pills.
After our story in May, we were flooded with more horror stories. One of them from 53-year-old Annie Cleland.
It was life-threatening. It was very serious. At any moment, that clot could have let go and killed me.
Annie says she was told by doctors her side effects were unusual.
Put it into the search engine on my computer and the whole thing just exploded with women who had had problems, that had pulmonary embolisms, that had clots in their legs, that had strokes, that had blindness.
Before and after our story went to air, we contacted the Bayer Pharmaceutical Company for comment. Bear in mind they've already paid out more than $750 million to settle claims in America. Here's what they told us. No Bayer representative shall be appearing on Today Tonight in relation to this matter. Bayer's position will not change, so please desist from contacting any Bayer representatives in future for interviews on programs concerning this topic. One thing the company did do was to email general practitioners discrediting not just our story, but Dr Karen Phelps as well.
This letter went to every GP in the country saying that the national TV segment contained irresponsible and inaccurate claims. For me, I find this insulting. I find that this response from Bayer is inadequate, it is heartless, and it is irresponsible.
Are you angry that this drug's still on the market?
Furious that Lakota was only 17. 17 in 19 days.
Just 13 days before our first story went to air, 17-year-old Lakota Connell died of a massive blood clot, leaving behind mum Tony and twin sister Jodine. She'd been taking Yaz for 3 months.
It's absolute devastation because after all Lakota fought for in her own quiet way, she had no way of fighting this.
Lakota was a fighter. In 2010, she survived and recovered from a liver transplant. Almost 3 years later, her life was back to normal. She was at school, she had a boyfriend, she was happy. There was no sign of what was to come. It surprised even her doctors.
He said to me that this should never have happened. They were totally taken aback by the events and the fact that it took her within 24 hours.
Just 3 months before she died, Lakota had MRI and ultrasound scans. This letter from Queensland Health confirms there was no sign of any clot. And it goes on to say the oral contraceptive she was on was a likely contributing factor in her death. The Royal Children's Hospital in Brisbane has now reported Lakota's case to the Therapeutic Goods Administration. And they're also reviewing every single female patient that's on the drug. What do you want to say to Bayer? If you had the opportunity to meet with them, what would you say to them?
Take it off the market. Get it out of here. It cost me my child's life. It's wrong.
The problem is that they are still saying it's no worse than any of the others and it's not as dangerous as pregnancy, which really is not the answer that Australian women deserve or expect.
Bayer stands by an earlier statement that there are sufficient warnings on the Yaz packaging and patient safety remains their priority. The full statement is on our website, as are details of a class action being organised for women who have had problems after taking Yaz.